In this unit, we'll cover 4 different general classifications of data structures. We'll begin with strings. You've seen strings a lot before, but only because it's difficult to really do anything in programming without the ability to print text. We've only scratched the surface of what strings can do and how they can be used. Strings are actually relatively advanced data structures, both because they technically store a list of other items, characters, and because they have significant complex reasoning built into them to deal with human language. Then we'll cover lists. Lists are single variable names that can store several different items of data accessed by a numeric index. For example, we can ask for the 7th value of the list named mylist. Different languages handle lists very differently, and many languages have multiple different ways of handling lists. So we'll briefly cover the general concepts before jumping into your language's instantiation of the list concept. Then we'll cover file input and output. File input and output is how we persist information across multiple sessions or multiple runs of a program. In many ways, it resembles and builds on list-like structures. When writing files, we'll very often write all the items in a list one by one. When reading a file, we'll often treat the individual lines like strings in a list. This isn't always the case, but the similarity is sufficient to make this a good time to cover file input and output. Then finally, we'll cover more advanced list-based structures like dictionaries and hash maps. These data structures are similar to lists in that they store multiple values, but they differ in that the values can be accessed not just through numbers, numeric indices, but also through strings or even other data structures. You could, for example, have a data structure that stores multiple students and their grades, and to look up my grades, you just look up David instead of having to know that I'm the 7th student on the list. Before we get there though, there are a couple concepts regarding advanced data structures that are useful to understand, so we'll cover those in the remainder of this chapter.